What's going on Tuesday Night Live? We're back. It's we were here last week. We just did a pub style so we could get Blake's full night tonight around 9 o'clock. He will be joining us shortly. Me and Top Jimmy wanted to kick it off early because we can get people on, hang out, have a few drinks, then we'll reset and have Blake come on. Going to talk everything Seelbach. Get your questions ready. We'll present those to him as we go through a couple, 3 killer giveaways tonight. We'll get that out of the way. We're doing a Seelbach 17-year. That is donated by Blake, and also a 10-year double oak French oak barrels, also by Blake. Very generous. But, yeah, those will be the giveaway. And the Diamond Dave Vogelsang's giving away an old Granddad 114 single barrel. Awesome. Awesome. Thank you, guys, everybody, for that. So, Super Chat, PayPal, Venmo, get in on these if you want to, guys. That'll be great. If not, it's cool too. So with no further ado, let's bring on the legend, the Top Jimmy. What's going on, buddy? It's good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you too.
Yeah, man. It's been a few days, actually.
Been a week.
I think about it. Yeah, I guess it's close too. So
yeah.
I've got out here just to give everybody a heads up. We'll catch up in the chat in a minute. I've got those giveaways here. I've got a few bottles pulled out that I've got from Seelbach. I've got his latest Magnus pick. I've got the 7-year. I think this is a $65, $69 rye. I think it's spectacular. I've got the bourbon and the rye Old Pepper picks. Very good. I think this is the favorite one I've had this year. I've got 2 more. I've got the OKI 10-year double oak. This mother trucker is spectacular. And then, last but not least, we had some of this at the Blitz. It's the Humidor blend. I like it a lot too.
Excellent.
So, anyway, we got a lot of stuff here to taste and drink and stuff. So, let's.
I pulled a couple bottles.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I wanted to, pick some stuff that I got off of Seelbach, and I'm a huge bottle and bond junkie. This is Old Man on the Mountain, or of the Mountain, Old Man of the Mountain, Old Man of the Mountain, bottle and bond from New Hampshire, from Tamsworth Distilling. I'll be tasting that tonight. And then I have, this is a 10-year bottle and bond. It's an MGP from Old Forth. And I'm just going to start with these and then see what other Seelbach purchases I can get into. So,
let's see. Let's catch up. There's Diamond Dave. Cheers, buddy. Thank you for that awesome bottle for the giveaway, dude. The top dog is here. Let's get ready. We're ready. Travis is in. What a thumbnail, but what's up with the jockeys' heads? I know. It's funny, to be honest. I get it. Yes. I love it, Trav. Thanks for making it. By the way, that's the designer of that one. So if you have any issues, reach out to Robe. Travis, play nice. Don't make me time you out. James Lay is here. Cheers, buddy. Good to see you. Russ is here, man. What's going on? The Jerk is here. What's up, Tom? Thank you. Got your Venmo. Guys, I'll get caught up with that in a minute. It's showing up in the email, so I won't miss it. Got that all straightened out. Thank you all so much. Joe, the sample guy, the legend. Good to see you, buddy. Let's see. Are we caught up? Just about. 877JG coming in hot. Jeff Perkins, my man. Hope you're doing well, buddy. Very generous. It was, man. I about fell over. There's my cigar buddy, Eric. What's going on, man? Yeah, it is. It's very dark. And I don't think I'd have to ask Blake. Are you talking about the 10-year? Yeah, that Eric is, I think it's might be 79. I'd have to ask him again, but it's fantastic. There's JG. Thank you, buddy, so much. You are in. Let's see. Venmo'd you. Yeah, I got you. Thank you, buddy. That's generous. Appreciate that. Kilco Whiskey Musings. Cheers, man. Good to see you, buddy. Cheers to you. Kevin O is here. Come on in, Kevin, if you want to, guys. Good to see you, Kevo. The Greg Legend McDonald. Thank you, Greg. That's awesome, buddy. Greg, I got to get into that Ardbeg. I'm slowly. I've got a storage unit, and I've taken about 5 loads of boxes to it now, and I'm not taking that one until I get into it. So I've got everything out of the closet out of here. All the K-Lukes are out, working on that shelf. Whew, I hate moving. But anyway, we'll see. I'm going to keep a few things. The Hoopa is here. Cheers, Hoop. Hope you're doing okay, buddy. Groovy, cheers, man. Ahoy, mate. Corvette Trey, good to see you, man. Awesome. All right. We need to pour something. Yay, Travis. Yeah, let me know how you like it. All right. I'm going to go ahead. I don't know what I want to start with, Toby, to be honest. Oh, here's another one down here. Shit, what's this one? Here is a blend of straight bourbon whiskeys. Seelbach. That might be what we go with. I think that's all I've got up here. That's what I'll start with. It's a little lighter proof.
You know what else that at least I got it from Seelbach. I'm not sure if that's where you got it. Is all the broad branch I have came from Seelbach. So I'll get into some of that later.
That's a good idea. Didn't think that through.
Mm-hmm.
I think of it. Yeah, I think it's still over there. I'd have to go look, but I think it's here. But yeah, I think I'll start with this one. Mm-hmm. I'll put it over there with the OKI so I know it's there. I've got the 10-year, regular 10-year, but I think it's downstairs on Jenny's. And then we have a maple finish Kurt got. We've had maple barrel finish. But yeah, this is really good. Slapshot, cheers, buddy. Good to see you, man. Slapshot keeps me straight on my hockey. All right. Let me get caught up here for just a second. And Toby, we can talk about picks. We can talk about some things coming up while I get this updated here real quick. Let's see. That'll work. So let's see. Got you, Jeff. Got you, RL. Got you, Kevo, Tom, and Travis. And I think Greg. Yep. Good. All right. I'm good. Perfect. This is solid. This is just I think it's like 101 proof. No. 116. It's a gasser. Way to pick one off a shop, Marty. Low proof. What's up, Darrell? Humidor is 118.6. So there's that. Old Pepper rye. I've got the bourbon over there too, but like I said, I thought I might mix it up and drink 2 ryes too. This one comes in at about 102.
So that's a Seelbach pick of pepper?
It's got the I'll show you so you can see what I'm talking about right there. There's the tag, which is pretty cool.
Excellent.
Hey, Charlie. Cheers, guys. Bourbon and Balls. Drop your link, buddy.
Charlie. I got to get to meet Charlie in person a couple weeks ago.
That's right. I forgot about that. Yeah. Definitely cherry forward on this one. What did I say the hell it was? Just a blend of straight bourbon whiskeys. Barrel number 2. It's 5 years, 3 months. So it's good. It nose is heavy. That nose is hot too. Hits a little bit about that heat point. I think that's fair on the palate. I think it's decent. I think it needs to sit and open up, but man, good Lord, it does work nice for a blend. You can see, maybe you can see where it's sticking.
Yeah,
it's trying.
Oh yeah, look at that. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty solid.
Yeah.
We'll let that air out a little bit. Question for people in the chat. When you get a brand new bottle and it's over 110 proof, here's your question. And you crack it and you're sitting there with it. After you do your initial, whatever you want to call it, neck pour, whatever, do you leave the cork out or the screw top off and let it air out for 5, 10, 15 minutes? I do. Just curious if anybody else does, or are you just like in the habit of just throwing it back on it? And that's fine. Don't get me wrong. I just wonder if you think about it, because I've done that with some Stag Juniors, and that's kind of where I got started with doing that. And just letting it sit in the air out and work a little bit.
What was the proof point that you kind of draw a line? Anything over that 115? Is that what you said?
110. I think 110 is pretty good.
I was going to say, I even did that tonight with these because both these bottle and bonds were fresh crack. I just don't think it hurts. I cracked it, I poured a bit, and I left it open because I don't know if I'm going back to them or not. And yeah, it can't. I don't think it can hurt.
No, Kevo says I don't want to spill anything. That's pretty good. Going to sip on Seelbach's wheated, Seelbach's 10 bourbon, Seelbach's 15 bourbon, and Seelbach's 20-year American. Heck yeah. Wow. There's T-Rob. Cheers, buddy. And Kelsey's here. Darrell. There's nothing wrong with this. It's just a matter of how close can you get to it with something else.
Right. Yeah. For chat, hey,
yeah.
We all know that Seelbach does great, branded picks, but everybody in chat, what are some of the other bottles that you've bought through Seelbach from other distilleries, maybe distilleries that we haven't heard about a lot? I think Highwire. I think Jimmy Red. I think I first got that stuff through Seelbach too. And now we're all talking about Jimmy Red.
I think that's a good call.
Mm-hmm. I'll say this is just a really good bottle and bond. It's got a lot of oak to it for it obviously it's at least 4 years old. It doesn't say it's any older than that, but if you told me it was older than that, I'd believe you.
Yeah, Hoop says his Jimmy Red was from them. So yeah, that makes sense.
I think now I've been ordering directly from Highwire, but I think initially I was ordering from Seelbach.
I don't know. I think I reached out to Dave or somebody, but I don't know what exactly this 17-year we're giving away. I don't think that's Buff Turkey. It just says distilled in Kentucky. I don't know. Blake will tell us, I'm sure.
That would be, I don't know if I've seen any Buff Turkeys that were 17 years old. They were all 15 and 16.
Wasn't it?
13, 16. 15? 15, 16, yeah.
Okay.
Hey.
All right. Go ahead, Tobe.
Yeah. The man of the
buddy.
How's it going?
Good, man. You made it. You made it early. You didn't have to kill yourself to get here, I hope.
No, not at all. It's been one of those days, man. Now I'm realizing I probably need a hat on. It's been one of those days. I had to go do a tasting earlier, and I'm like, it's a long day. It's could end it on some fun. Yeah.
Well, we appreciate you taking the time and doing this,
there we go. Picking up
bottles you've given away and stuff. So we've got people in the chat. We're getting it going. Like I said, it may not get really crazy until around 9 o'clock because that's when it was technically advertised. But we said we were going to go early. But what we've been doing, Blake, we've been just kind of starting to show off with what are some of the bottles we've got sitting around that we have gotten from Seelbach, and are they picks? Some are they just something unique and different? A lot of them are. Toby, I'll let you show the bottle and bond that you're working on.
Sure. So Blake, I don't know if you got my email earlier, but
I did.
Okay, cool. So,
buying from us.
Yeah. That way we're not complete strangers here. Online. But so I'm starting off tonight with Old Man of the Mountain, bottle and bond from New Hampshire. And then my second pour tonight is going to be the 10-year MGP bottle and bond from Old Forth.
Mm-hmm.
And, we've been talking about a lot of different brands. I mean, I think Marty and I found Broad Branch through Seelbach.
Mm-hmm.
I know I found Jimmy Red through Seelbach. So it's just so many unique brands that you don't see. And anyway, yeah.
I mean, I don't want to just jump straight into like tearing up a little bit, but no, I mean that's kind of our whole thing. And when we started in 2018, looking around, it's like, could we sell Buffalo Trace and Four Roses? Like, and this is where I think the whiskey world's different from like the beer world. Like craft breweries, they had the advantage, or just different positioning where it's like, hey, stop drinking Bud Light and Miller Lite. You need to drink these craft brands because it's actually good beer. But whiskey's never really had that. Like the big houses, big distilleries are still really good, but I just think there's so many other stories out there that can be told, whether it's the Jimmy Red or the Old Man in the Woods, like all these things. And those distilleries and brands, like they just don't have the marketing push behind them, where if you're walking down your local store shelf, it's like, how do you explain what Jimmy Red is in the 3 seconds somebody looks at a bottle? And that's kind of when we looked at it, and it's like, man, online is a great platform to do that through the emails and everything else. So let's just put a push into that. And certainly we love it when people are drinking all these other bottles, but we just think there's a lot out there that people could get into, and they're going to really want to try and buy from there. Although I'm looking at I like the Pride of Indiana behind your left shoulder there, Marty.
That's over there too.
Oh, is
that my favorite, Blake? And I've got a backup of it, and this is
that's another Seelbach bottle. Yeah.
That is one that I loved, and I thought it was a great idea to blend bourbon and American light whiskey. And then it does good. I think it just people need to try it, and then they're like, "Oh,
it's fantastic!
This is good." But that's one I'd like to see keep going. Although I don't know if we're deep enough into the night to tell like secret backstories behind labels, but that one's a pretty funny one. Yeah. So the idea of Pride of Indiana is just, MGP for a while, people were like, it was a dirty word if you were sourcing from MGP and all this stuff. And now people chase after it. And so we were working on that label, and we'd had some different concepts from the original Pride of Indiana label to what we were going to make it into be, and just didn't love I think the original one actually has mountains on it. I'm like, I want something cool, like a building. And so my dad's from a small town in Illinois, and there's a bank called First Bank of Dwight, Illinois. And it's designed by Frank Lloyd Wright. It's a really cool setting. And so I took that image and had our designer use that. So if you look extremely closely on that label, it actually on the building, you can kind of make out that it says Dwight, Illinois on it, on the Indiana label. But it was a fun family tie-in from me because, he's from a small farming town in Illinois, and they're still corn farmers and soybean farmers, and felt like it was fitting for bourbon, even though the label is Pride of Indiana.
Now I got this. How I tried this, Blake, was about, I guess, a year and a half ago. Dusty Dan sent it to me in a blind, and I sit here for the entire time, and I said, Dan, I'm telling you, this is Old Carter, American all day. I said that, and he goes, well, you're kind of close, but you're not. and when
Bane-ish, yeah.
And when he told me what it was, we both immediately jumped on the web Seelbach and I'll order 2. I thought it was just for the money. I thought it was fantastic. Still do.
So. Yeah, it is fun in this world because I don't come into the bourbon world with any heritage or like drinking history or anything like that. So when we're developing products, it's just, letting your buddies try it. We have a team that tries a bunch of different stuff. And I remember taking samples over that to my neighbor, and he's a big bourbon guy. He gets a ton of Seelbach stuff, a bunch of other bourbon. And so I had the light whiskey and the bourbon and then them blended together. And he's like, I'm not going to lie. This blend is incredible, but I could drink this 20-year light whiskey on its own. And so we ended up releasing the 20-year light whiskey on its own before that, because I'm like, people kind of sleep on light whiskey a little bit. And the fun was to be able to blend them together and all of that. And I feel like every bottle we put out has all kinds of fun backstory and history that we don't even get to talk about. And then I can come on stuff like this and get a little more of the details and the nitty gritty of those things out
Here's
there.
Greg. Greg's got all kinds of crazies sitting.
Oh, those Canadian barrels. That's the first time I've ever seen the bunghole of barrel bolted down. I think it was just because the pressure of all that alcohol was pushing them out, and those were great barrels.
Cheers, Randall. Hope you're feeling better, buddy.
So Blake, give us your origin story, and how you came to. You've given us a little bit of the why, but give us the how and that type of thing.
Yeah, that's where I wish, and maybe it is more interesting just because it's not your typical bourbon world story. But I grew up in a house that did not drink. Got into bourbon probably 2012, 2013, I think is when I started the Bourboner blog. And so I'm in Jacksonville, Florida. And so I started the Bourboner blog just as a way because people weren't really chasing bourbon, drinking bourbon around me. And you connect with people online. And that was the only route. We didn't have any local whiskey groups, anything like that. And so I started the Bourboner blog. That started getting pretty popular with like the Poor Man's Pappy and the Pappy Van Winkle release maps, a bunch of different mash bill things, and was just doing that, working as an accountant. And I did that for about 8 years. And then I guess Bourboner is still kind of ongoing. I haven't posted there in a while, but it's still active there on Instagram and everything. And so I was just doing the blog, doing accounting. It was kind of a fun side thing. And late 2017, I had a company that was advertising with us that said, hey, we're looking to sell our license in DC and in Chicago. And I was like, well, I don't know anybody about Chicago, but I would like to purchase the DC license because we were doing some private barrels and that kind of stuff. And just seemed like a great way to be able to push our private barrels through. And hey, maybe we do 10 to 12 a year. And at the same time, we had done this Wyoming whiskey pick. And I'm like, this is actually really good. Like I remember tasting Wyoming whiskey a while back and it was not great. Now it's 6.5 years old. This is a really good barrel. And just started getting the ideas spinning in my head of like, there are these small distilleries out there and small brands where, like I was saying earlier, they just don't have the marketing budget or their story is not really translating on a retail shelf as much. And so started Seelbach as a way to do some private barrels to highlight some smaller distilleries. And that was a very different time. And, then COVID hits, all this stuff, people are trapped at home, things start picking up. And, the retail side has just really grown and expanded from there. And then at the same time, we got some access to some MGP bourbon. And I made a joke because everybody's doing a toasted label. I'm like, somebody should do a toasted French oak barrel with a maple barrel. And then it's French toasted maple syrup bourbon. And I'm like, I have a distillery here in Jacksonville that kind of lets me do some crazy ideas. Maybe we should do it and put it under the Seelbach private label. And that was our first release. And I think that was in 21. And so, I kind of said that like nobody should allow me to have a credit card or be able to do things because I'm like, if it sounds fun and interesting, let's give it a shot. Let's try it out. And
love it.
That's kind of where it went. The public accounting background from a family that didn't drink is not what you see on the back label of most bourbon brands today, but that's kind of what it is for me.
Right. Oh, that's awesome. What a great story. So where do you live? Are you in Florida?
Yep. So I'm in Jacksonville.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So you're in Jacksonville, but everything from Seelbach ships out of DC, correct?
Correct. Yeah. So DC has some different laws and, we got started early. There's quite a few other retailers out of there now. When we started, we were in 2 storage units in an extra space. And I always say I think it's the closest I've ever had to a panic attack of, I buy this license and everything essentially sight unseen, and I go up to DC for the first time, and I go into these 2 storage units. I'm like, what have I done? Like, this is not good. But so we've expanded. We have a warehouse, and for those who have picked up from it, it's a much more fun and exciting environment than it was in those early days, for sure. But yeah, I'm back and forth. That's the nice part, is there's a direct flight, so I'm usually up there once a month. But we've got a really good team who handles the warehouse, handles media. Brian on our team is in Kentucky, so we've kind of just spaced it out for everything we do.
When you were talking about pre-COVID and getting going, were you just trying to get your feet moving before? I think you hit on this. I just want to double check, because I know how anxious I would be if I was in your shoes then, before you really started thinking about the single barrel program.
Yeah,
you hit on a little bit.
We had done some single barrels and that kind of stuff, and I had an email list from the bourboner side, was trying to build up the Seelbach side, and then all of a sudden COVID hit, and we have all these distilleries reaching out like, hey, typically we do this distillery only release. It's a big thing and it's fun. We can't do it. Would you be willing to be the online partner for it? And we got several of those. Blue Run started becoming extremely popular back then. I'm thinking of Privateer Rum. We did some with them. So it's kind of all these people coming together at the same time and just saying like, look, we're here, we're stuck at home. How do we still get whiskey to people and, still have some of the fun that we would normally do, but with an online setting? And it really started picking up after that. I mean, it was doing fine and good before that. And then COVID hit, and everybody is kind of in the same situation and is buying bottles, wanting to try new bottles. And, kind of the same time, everyone is, I don't want to say burnt out by chasing all the lotteries and everything else, but a lot of people were just, I want to try something new. I want good whiskey, but I don't want to stand in a line for 24 hours ahead of time to just get the bottle that I want. So.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. We've talked about this a bunch on all our channels and stuff, is that, with what you provide for us as a service and the bottles and the picks and everything, it makes it a whole lot easier when, like, for somebody like me that lives in a control state, to just drive by your liquor store. You don't have to stop in every, once a week or whatever, and just look at the same stuff that you've probably already got or had. The options for us now to find better and great whiskey at an affordable price are become easier and easier. And I think that's something that is great. And it makes life a lot easier, especially, if you join the club, and do the shipping thing. We can talk about that whenever, but that makes a world of difference too. So, I think that makes everything a lot nicer.
From my perspective, I can say that I think, other than some of the online retailers where I'm getting a lot of the group picks, I've spent more time and frankly more money on Seelbach's than any other online whiskey retailer. And I think, my back, I moved to Kentucky in 2016. I'm from San Diego. And so I'm an old school wino. And the best thing about California is there's all these small wineries. Mm-hmm. And you very quickly learn not to be scared of small wineries. Mm-hmm. Everybody can go to the grocery store and pick the name brands, but go to the small wineries and find out what they're doing. And so when I found your website and a lot of these, like the two that I mentioned earlier, the Old Man in the Mountain and Old Fourth. I'm not scared to try these, smaller distilleries, or, Jimmy Red or Broad Branch. It kind of speaks to, the old school wino, and not being afraid to try a new smaller winery or a new smaller distillery. So.
Yeah, and that's where I think bourbon had a hard time early on the craft side, because there was a lot of stuff where it's like it's local and it's craft, but it's been aged for 6 months in a 10-gallon barrel, and it's just not going to taste good at that. Where wine, you can get some incredible wine from smaller producers, but thankfully I think most of those days are beyond us, and we're at an incredible spot now where you get the Broad Branch, who has 9-year rye coming out. You get the Jimmy Red that's 6+ years old, and all of those different things. I mean, there's so many cool ones. We just released one from Montgomery Distillery out in Montana, which I hadn't heard of 8 months ago, but we did a single barrel pick of an 11-year hazmat rye, and it's fantastic. And so I think there are a lot of these gems, and it's kind of the pros and cons of what we deal with a lot. Like, we don't really want to focus on all the things we turn down, but we are pretty picky in what we highlight. But it feels a little bit, I don't know, rude or whatever you want to say, to be like, we turned down 1,000 different distilleries this year, and we brought you the best. It just feels kind of off for me. Like, I want to promote everyone, but that truly is what happens. We do a lot of different whiskeys and distilleries and barrel picks and everything else to make sure, because our biggest thing is trust with customers. Like, we want people to be able to buy a bottle from us knowing that it kind of went through our filtering and litmus test, and it's on the site for a reason. But we just haven't come up with a good creative way to say that without like disparaging other brands who are still progressing in their whiskey and everything else.
To talk about that process. So, Fred's Distillery comes to you with, some bourbon or some rye. What is the process?
Yeah. So
what is that?
It's a community of things. So we thankfully have 2-3 very great tasters on our team. I admittedly drink far less than I would like to think, based on the industry I'm in. But Brian on our team in Louisville, and then Dee on our team in DC, have fantastic palates. So a lot of it is get sample bottles into them. And, we're looking at a few things. Like, one, is the whiskey good? That's kind of the minimum. Then it's 2, okay, what's the story behind it? Like, is this something new? Is it something different? Is it a story we haven't told? And then from there, it's a little more of a feeling process of, is there momentum behind it? Because it is a business at times. I like to say I'm the worst spirits buyer there is in the industry, because if I like it, we'll just buy a bunch of it and we'll figure out how to sell it later. But like that it is kind of the pecking order of things. Like, we're gonna try it, we're gonna taste it, we're gonna look at the story. Is it different? And sometimes there's stuff that may not be our favorite thing, but the story is so fun and cool, we think that should be out there and we want to tell that story. And then there's other stuff where we think it's fantastic, but they may not have the popularity of other distilleries and brands, but we still want to push that product. So it's just always that balancing act of what we're trying to do. And I think our biggest advantage is, I'm the sole owner. There's no board. There's no benchmarks to hit. There's none of that. If we increase sales 100% next month, or we're down 50%, as long as that payroll is made, we're happy. So that's the fun part of it. And kind of, I think our biggest advantage is just that, like, we have some products that come in that we know are going to blow it out. There's already a market there for them, everything else, but that allows us to still highlight and kind of amplify all these other smaller distilleries.
You know, I tell you something you guys are really good at, and Kurt, my buddy Kurt, that, you know, I've told you that, you know, we kind of share bottles and stuff from Seelbach and stuff. But when something, a product like Toby's drinking or stuff like you're talking about that is kind of maybe new to the market, when you release it on the website, there's always a very good description in my sense when I get those emails of what am I looking at. I feel like it is extremely transparent. I feel like I don't have to guess a lot. I have a pretty good idea where I think it's from or who's doing it, and I think that's what makes it fun. You know, you can try to figure out, oh, this is something new. You know, what is this? And I'm trying to think. There was one I've got. It might be downstairs. I can't remember, but it's one I didn't know anything about, and me and Kurt bought it, and we loved it. And you know, I like that. I think it's fun for the hobby. Thank you, Charlie.
Speaking of which,
I feel like, you know, in the generation where it's like, oh, AI is going to take over everything. And Brian on our team had a funny post. It's like, yeah, I'd like to see AI taste 50 barrel samples in a day and do tasting notes. But that's kind of what we want people to come back to, is the fact that it's real people tasting it. You kind of get to know our palates over all the emails, and we get to tell the story from all those different things, and all the different emails. You know, a buddy of mine told me, is like, yeah, I can't get you to text me back, but I get eight emails from you every day about new bourbon releases. I'm like, well, that's I'm busy writing those emails because that's why I can't text you back.
right.
But that's the fun of.
All right. I gotta get you on this from Blake right now. Is this okay? Is this still available, or is it gone? Because I think it's spectacular, and then I want you to tell me. I want you to talk about how you blended it.
So this was a fun one to blend, and I can dive into that. We're down to 8 cases, so that was a fun one. You know, and on the product development side, it's always interesting because I think I have a great idea. Like, hey, we're gonna, you know, there's a few cigar batches out there. We're gonna be a little bit different. Well, from concept to final bottling and releasing, I think 8 other cigar batches came on the market in the meantime. But with this one, I got these Spanish oak barrels that I wanted to finish bourbon in. And for whatever reason, Spanish oak is way heavier and just way more potent than everything else. So the idea was like, hey, humidors are made out of Spanish cedar. We can do our version of a cigar blend, but we're going to call it humidor. We're going to work in some of the Spanish oak. And that was by far the hardest blend I've ever had to do, because when you're doing it in samples, a lot of times that does not scale up. And so we dump the amount of Spanish oak that I'm supposed to have. I try the blend, and it's Spanish oak, unfinished bourbon, cognac, and just a touch of Amburana. And I'm like, this is going to be amazing. They dump the barrels. And so our bottling partner's in Jacksonville, which is amazing because I'm just 10, 15 minutes away, can be very hands-on. And I try the blend that's been dumped, and I'm like, this is nothing but dry oak spice. You get no other nuances. You get nothing else. And then from there, we have to work it up. It's like, okay, let's add more unfinished bourbon. Does that sweetness kind of start to bring it out? Not quite there. Like a little more cognac finish. Does that start to, and finally started to level it up. So we ended up with much bigger batch than we were anticipating, but that's kind of one of these small batch blends is just you can do a lot of things off the samples, but you never quite know until it's in that stainless steel what it's going to taste like. And yeah, I love that barrel. We have a pro release coming of that. We did a small pro blend of it because it's like, hey, these barrels are getting older, they're tasting really good. Let's just do something fun for pro members that we can release on the site. And so that'll be coming in, I think, 2 weeks. But I love the Humidor blend, and I think the best compliment I get on that is people are like, I don't even smoke cigars, but I love this bourbon.
I mean, it's just we tried it. I think Scott Hawk had it at the Blitz in October, and he poured it from. I think we cracked it, me and him and Dusty Dan, and I fell over. I mean, we'd had 1,000 things that day, and I was like, holy hell, this is really good. And I think in January I reached out to you and I said, man, this is solid. Yeah. And you know what? If anybody can dive into this and can find the Amburana, it's not there. It's just nice, and it gives it the weighty palate with the French oak stuff, or the Spanish oak. I'm sorry, and then the cognac gives it the spice on the back end. I love this bottle. I told you that in January.
Although we may be doing something right, is Dave Vogelzang on the chat. I just pulled up my email and he just bought a bottle of the Humidor. So
yeah, Dave likes stuff that, what am I trying to say, that coats the palate. I mean, Dave is a very good taster. He's done picks with us. I mean, Dave's a good one.
That's about that Spanish oak. It's super coating, and it's like you want some of that. You may not want all of that. And that was kind of the balance. And, I know Amburana's, that's a fighting word for some.
Polarizing.
Yeah, very polarizing. And some people are like, yes, I love it. And some people are like, I'll never touch an Amburana. And I'm like, just give this a shot, because I think you'll understand what it means in the blend. And it's not what you're expecting. It's just like a pure Amburana finish, which is still funny because, now that we're in distribution, we do a bunch of different tastings and in-store tastings, and we'll have people that come by and they're like, I don't really like bourbon, but I love that Amburana. I'm like, will you post that to the internet? Because there are a lot of people that still hate it and think that it's dead, but it has its spots where it kind of highlights things and elevates things.
So one of the I love Bottle and Bond. I think it's a great way to get into a distillery. There's already a little bit of a little quality control there, hopefully, being Bottle and Bond. One of the very first bottles I bought off of Seelbach was this right here.
Oh,
the district made Bottle and Bond. I think you still show this on your website. Is this?
Yeah.
Is that Bottle and Bond still in stock?
So unfortunately, they have shut down. They're a DC distillery.
Correct. But I thought you still showed some of this bottle on your website, the Bottle and Bond.
There are 4 bottles left.
Okay, everybody, go get.
I feel like I'm doing like
go get this bottle. Now I'll tell you what happened.
We're messing with you, Blake.
Funny story. So I love this district made Bottle and Bond, and I was too late to the party because here's its big brother, the cask strength.
Mm-hmm.
And you had this, but I was too late to the party, and you had sold out, and they had shut down production. So one of the members of the family here in chat, Randall Erickson,
he just got one.
Randall the Express. Randall, we found it at a Total Wine up in the DC area. He drove up to DC. He lives in Virginia. Drove up to DC, cleaned out a Total Wine so that he and I could each have a couple bottles of the district made cask strength.
Which their stuff was great. And, it's kind of unfortunate in the industry that we're seeing that happen a little more. But, I mean, they had an Untitled series, I think it was Untitled, where they had a bunch of MGP. They were doing these cool finishes. Then their district made stuff came out. It was incredible, but it just never quite caught on, I guess. And yeah, their stuff was fantastic. And actually, one of the first distilleries I visited whenever I went to the warehouse for the first time, or I say warehouse, whenever I went to the storage units for the first time in DC when I started Seelbach.
Now this thing's spicy bomb, man. I love it. I'm gonna go to the Magnus pick next, I think. Stay on the finish side.
Oh no.
Yeah, this is 52.5, 105. I'll show everybody what I'm sipping on here while Blake's typing. There we go. This is their Magnus pick.
Although, am I pausing on the?
Just a couple times. You're okay now.
We can hear you, no problem. But yeah, your picture's freezing. But
hold on,
you're good now. Don't worry about it. We're good.
I figured out this. 1 second. I'm gonna jump right back in.
All right. DC had some good distilleries back in the day. Magnus used to be there. Yeah, that's right, Eric. No doubt. This thing it's not the Magnus, but that Humidor blend is just sweet sugar up front. Then you get that Spanish oak, and then the pepper spice is just phenomenal. I mean, it's under $100.
That's the Humidor blend?
Yeah. I think it's $79.
How sweet is it? That's always my hang up is a lot of those can be too sweet, but no?
I can see exactly what you're saying, but I like it. I mean, it may not be your thing.
Doesn't matter. I can't get it in Kentucky anyway.
Yours, the finish would be yours. I have the Seelbach Magnus pick. So good. Love those 10-year aged. Yep. Sigma Rho. The guy that started Magnus is at Dream Spirits. You got it?
Got it. He's back.
There we go.
That should be better. Brian always yells at me when we do our weekly videos. He's like, "Are you in the other internet browser?" Like, I thought it would work this time. It does not. It for whatever reason, I have to move over to Chrome and end all the other apps in the background. But I think I had like a 9-year stretch on the Bourbon Community Roundtable where my audio was messed up. And I got it fixed for like a month, and then I'm just right back to internet issues.
This Magnus pick you did, Blake, did you get to participate in that one? Or did the team do it?
So they sent samples on that one. So we all tasted those. And Magnus is a funny one. So they started out as a DC company, and then, they moved operations to Michigan, and kind of barrel picks went away for a while. And they rolled those out to us, and we were like, how many are we allowed to have? Because these are fantastic. And they've got some incredible stuff. Which, that's kind of the first place I met Nancy Fraley and Master Blender, to a bunch of different places. And my joke was always Seelbach just follows whatever distillery Nancy Fraley is doing blending for, and that's who we will highlight on the site, because she's incredible.
Yeah.
Those Magnus picks were really good. I think it was 10 years Sagun Moreau barrels. And man, they just drink so good.
God, man, that's sugar. That's just a sugar sweet goodness. I mean, that's fantastic.
So what are some of the, I don't want to, well, I guess
Oh, go ahead.
I don't want to make it all about Seelbachs, but what are some of the kind of the bourbons y'all are into these days? What gets you excited? And
All right, I'll start, and I'll let Toby explain what I say. Different, affordable, and somewhat, I won't say easy to find,
yeah,
but findable. Those three are pretty big for Whiskey Nose and our pick team Legends of the Oak. That's kind of what we're looking at. We don't need $275 single barrels bottles. Yeah. We need stuff that are new to the community. And I said I was going to let Toby explain it, and I'm going to stop now. So go ahead, Toby, because he is a better speaker than I am.
Well, and the thing is, I mean, so many of all the legacy distilleries have great stuff. We know they do. But, having a relatively new pick team, Marty and I, our pick team is called Legends of the Oak. We've tried to focus on smaller distilleries or NDPs that are doing fantastic whiskey or putting out fantastic whiskey. And for us, it's kind of a threefold thing. The whiskey, the brand needs to be, at a point where maybe we can help them move up a notch or two. We like that. And then the people that, that we're dealing with have got to be good people. And so it's kind of a threefold, because we really want to kind of develop, friendships and, a handshake, old school partnership where we're behind you. And, anytime you need to come on and talk about something, come on the channel. So last October, we did our first 2 barrel picks at Larrikin in Lawrenceburg, Kentucky. We did a 9-year bourbon and a 7-year American light whiskey. And those have since sold out. And then we most recently are just now getting ready to release 3 different single barrels of McBrayer. Bill McBrayer, also out of Lawrenceburg, Kentucky. And we've got a single barrel of the Old McBrayer, which is his bourbon mash bill, rye bourbon mash bill, contract distilled by Bardstown Bourbon Company. We did a single barrel of Cedarbrook, which is his weeded mash bill. That's the 100 proofer that Marty's holding up, which is contract distilled by Green River. And then the most important one is this one right here, because Bill actually found the mash bill, the historic family mash bill.
I feel like a stewardess on an airplane. Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. Toby's explaining it, and I'm sitting here like
doing like kind of your Vanna White.
I apologize. Go ahead, Toby.
But,
mash bill.
So Bill found the mash bill, the historic, McBrayer mash bill, on a letter written from W.H. McBrayer to E.H. Taylor. And anyway, and so he's having that historic mash bill, family mash bill, contract distilled by Wilderness Trail. And so we picked a single barrel of each, and those will hit this,
of course,
couple of weeks. So pretty exciting for us.
Well, yeah, that's all stuff I love to hear, because I think, but especially with McBrayer, like there's such a legacy and a heritage there, and to see them bring that back with all of those, the mash bills or whatever else, like that's not going to happen without brands like that, and just people willing to be able to put the stuff out there, and people being willing to buy it and support it. So yeah, and
the thing is that we've all seen labels get resurrected, but usually it's just for marketing. They don't even know what the historic mash bill was, and it's not even being distilled necessarily by. But here you've got arguably one of, if not the best resurrection story in bourbon, where McBrayer, who predates all of the people we know. I mean, he helped Rippey and Sappho and Bond and Lillard and Deadman, all these folks get into business, and now we've got the 9th generation McBrayer bringing the family back to whiskey and whiskey back to the family, and just a fantastic story.
But going back to what you were asking, that's Blake. One of the things I say, and me and Toby, when we started this Legends of the Oak last year, is like, one of the things you need to kind of think about and follow is just because you can do a pick doesn't mean you need to. I just being honest, because I mean, we can go and do,
Marty said it, not me, and that's.
I know. I'm just being honest. I want something that's different. And, yeah, so I mean, it's just one of those things to where, like, you can sell it. You don't have that, Russell's issue. Like, if we do a Russell's pick or something, 10 other groups have just done one. I want something that I want just to catch your eye, something different and something affordable. So that's kind of what we've kind of based this on, like I told you a second ago. So yeah, I mean, it's been fun. And what's cool is when we do a pick, we try to do a different group of team members every time. So everybody can be involved. So, and that's just something we want to do.
Yeah, that and that's the fun part of it too. Is I mean, we're extremely lucky at Seelbach just with the customer base and everything else. Most people kind of, I just responded that like, don't give me any ideas on a chewing blend. I'll have Seelbach's Red Man out here. But where we get to do a lot of those things, but it's all kind of in the spirit of just highlighting these distilleries and brands and good whiskey. And it doesn't happen all the time. Sometimes there's winners, sometimes there's ones that don't make it, don't connect, but that's the exciting part, is just which we may, you've got to give me like 2 more years, but we may have something fun coming under a label where we were able to get our hands on some old national distiller records of what mash bills they use, what entry proofs they use, what yeast they use. And I guess I can't actually say, people can figure it out of what distillery would be. Rhymes with Smeh Sailor. And, to do some contract with that distillery to say, like, yeah, this is a brand that existed, was really important to the whiskey world, has just kind of fallen by the wayside because of all the consolidation, whatever it is. And to be able to bring that back and is just kind of the cool stuff, because it's like, without the McBrayers and those type of people resurrecting those stories, you just don't have it. And we all love new brands, new whiskey. Like, there's so many that they're so fun to highlight on Seelbach, but there's something about bourbon that makes you want to go back to the historical records to say, like, yeah, why did it taste? Why does old granddad from 1980 taste way different from
butterscotch? I know, man. I know. It kills you. It kills you to think we don't have time to let those barrels sit out and age anymore. Yeah,
I should have had the bottle, but I gave it to a friend tonight. We're experimenting around. Actually, I've got the label. This is not a self-indulgent plug, but
I don't rip it.
Kind of a fun one so we did this experiment called Echo, and so I guess I can say anything. It's not public marketing, but so it's a wild turkey mash bill. Where it came from, who knows? Okay. Wild turkey mash bill. We put it into a 72-month air-dried stave barrel a year and a half ago. And then the last 6 months, I've been slowly proofing it down, because I think the biggest difference we're seeing from dusty bourbon to what the bourbon we drink today is entry proof and age of the oak, and how that oak was cured, how that oak was, cut. whether it's from a 150-year-old tree or a 60-year-old tree. I think that's the biggest difference. So we got these 6-year-old air-dried stave barrels, put the bourbon into that, and it's kind of our version of like a dusty bourbon and what that would taste like today. It doesn't have as much butterscotch as I was hoping for, but it's really delicious, so I can't complain about the end results. And that's kind of the fun part. Is like, hey, it's 2 barrels. We've got the outlet where I think people will be into the story enough where it makes sense for us to do it. And why would we not try to reinvent some of the bourbons that we love from those dusty side of things?
Yeah, no, I mean I think all these big time distilleries, Beam, Turkey, I think Bruce is working on it. I mean, you know a hell of a lot more than I ever will act like I know, but I think people want to get back to that old, I call it antique store carpet. That can tell the story of everything in that building, that old wood. And I think Michter's tries a little bit. I mean, if Gary Franchi was here, he could tell me more about it. But you know, it's just when the boom hit, you didn't have time to leave stuff sitting out for 10 or 15 years.
Yeah.
And I think that's 95% of the process is being able to let that thing sit. You know, I don't know. It's just different, and I hope we can get back to that. Hazmat Pat, just click the take a picture of the barcode up there at the top. That'll help you get there. I'll pin that. I should be pinned anyway, but yeah, I'll work on that here in just a second. So let's see. Thank you, Eric. Got you, buddy. Speaking of brand revivals, have Blake tell us what his vision of. Oh wow, yes.
Well, I was typing out my response, but
I'm sorry.
That's a brand that, so if you don't know, the Rascaler is the basement bar at the Seelbach Hotel in Louisville, Kentucky. So for us, it just made too much sense not to get that and try to revive that a little more, just because I think in the bourbon side of things, you know, it's just a really important story. It really tied into the story we were trying to tell. Will we get to that aged of rye? Maybe. You know, we're trying to hold some rye barrels back. There's not a ton of aged rye on the market. And so we did our Rascaler Revival Batch 2, which was a blend of several different double oaks. And so we have a few different things coming out this year with the, some kind of, we're trying to do it like a partner release with a few different people. I think we need like 5 more years before we can ever get a rye that could ever compete, because that's the hard part. Is even if you put out a 14-year-old rye, that doesn't compare to what was that 21-year-old Kentucky rye, which was in that original bottle. So that's kind of to be determined on the rye side, but the bourbon side, there's still a lot of great stuff, a lot of fun things to put into the barrel or into the bottle. So that's the hard part of getting a label like that, because as a whiskey enthusiast, we can't just say, oh, cool, now we have this label, let's put out a 8-year-old bourbon. It's like, this is completely different to what the original was. So we want to be able to say, like, this is super special whiskey. We had the 18-year release first, and then I did this, you know, in my mind, a fun, cool, exciting thing that we called Consolidated Kingdom, which was 4 different major heritage distilleries in Kentucky, blended them all together, with the idea being like Buffalo Trace, Heaven Hill, Barton, and these are all just hypotheticals. These are all just hypothetical distilleries, but all these distilleries are not going to come together and say, like, oh, bourbon is good on its own. what would it be like if we blended them together? And so that was Rascaler Batch 2. So try to do fun, cool releases like that for now while we let some rye continue to age. But if anybody has a line on some 20-year-old Kentucky rye whiskey, we are more than game to make that happen.
Well, as I'm finishing the Magnus, I am turning the page to the rye whiskey, and where did it go? It's lost. Son of a bitch. What'd I do with it? The 7-year rye. It's fantastic. Anyway, that was fun to talk about. It was.
No, you
sorry. This one. Here we go. Yeah. So I've had one pour out of this, Blake, and the rest have been sampled out. So this thing is, I think it's a 95.5. Is that correct? MGP.
Yep.
7 years, and I think it tastes a lot older than 7. I think it's got a smoother pepper spice, and it's almost white pepper for me on the back end.
Yeah.
I think this one hit the spot, and I think it's also under $100, isn't it? Or was?
Yeah, I think it's $60, $70. And that's also one where, like, I mean, we're in the bourbon world. People just don't drink as much rye, but there's so much good rye out there, and we got a hold of these barrels, and we're like,
thank you, Chad.
Certainly we could do some other things with finishes or whatever else on it, but why don't we just put it out at what it is? Like it's when we do the blending, it was really good. I'm pulling barrel samples. I'm like, these are fantastic. And, this is kind of one, like, little behind the curtains on things. Like, it's not our most popular seller, but it's something that I think is really important. Just have a really good cask strength rye, because I always go back to what got me into rye was some 7-year Smooth Ambler single barrels they did in 2018-ish, 2017. And I tried those. I'm like, this is crazy how good it is for the price. And so that was, just one that I'm like, it's important for us to get this bottle out there. It continues the story with how good rye whiskey can be. Let's just put it out, enjoy it, and if people are into it, great. If they're not, we have a really good bottle that we can point people to whenever they ask for a rye. So I thought it turned out great. And
I thought it was fantastic. When you dropped it, I hit you up and said, hey, let me try this one. And like I said, I think it's fantastic. And the more I get back into it, the more the rye spice is kicking. And I get a very nice barrel note, but I got it on the fresh crack too. So there's a very sweet barrel note in it.
Yeah.
95.5s, Matt, you're not kidding, man. Straight up. Blake is love. You send you some of our rye whiskey to get your thoughts. Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Man, that's Old Glory.
Oh, yeah. Please do.
There's Mike T. What's going on, buddy? Now, this is a great this is a great 7-year 95.5 for the money. Like I said, I really enjoyed it. It's got a very nice minty finish. It's everything you want in a rye. Nice job, buddy. That's number 01. Great. 112.5 proof, guys, on that one.
Blake, one of the brands that you guys have really got me into is the Old Soul. And I've got a couple questions around this, but tell me about Old Soul from your perspective.
Yeah. So Old Soul is really cool distillery. And oh shoot, are they? I always forget this, but they're either on the border in Louisiana or they're just across in Mississippi. But they've got some really cool stuff. We got introduced to them by their chicory liqueur. Yeah, so they're right across the border then. Their chicory liqueur, and their Old Soul tin types, I think, are some of the best. So some of the best. Oh, there you go. Some of the best blends of MGP bourbon out there today. But the fun part of them is they've also been distilling this whole time. So we have barrel samples coming to us that, and sorry if I sound like I have been smoking Marlboros unfiltered. I've got allergies, and it's kind of like a "this is 40" type of thing. I take an Allegra D, and then my voice just sounds like this. But we're getting some samples for a barrel pick with stuff that they actually distilled, and that's kind of the fun part. So they do a really great job of curating Indiana bourbon, but I'm pretty excited to see what's coming on their distilled in Mississippi stuff. And it's 6 and 7 years old, I want to say. And it, I think that's the fun part is you get to where the business model of, hey, we're going to source, and we're going to release our stuff when the time is right. I feel like that's where Old Soul is right now. And I feel like once their own distillate comes available, people will really start to realize like how good their stuff is. So I think there's a lot to come from them. But still currently some of the better Indiana blends of bourbon I've had. So
I've got 3 different tin type 1s and 2 different tin type 2s. Other than the proof point and the age statement, is there a way to distinguish them? Is there like a batch 1, 2, 3, a barrel 1, 2, 3, or is it 22, 23, 24, the year that they were released? I'm just curious.
I think I think they do it by series number and then the year. So I know we have like tin type series 3 2025, tin type series 2 2025, and that will be a different blend of whatever barrels they're using. Right. But how that barrel breaks down, I know tin type series 2 2025 is all 9-year, and it's all 21% Indiana bourbon. Tin type 3 uses more of the 36% rye. So I think they could be very different blends of MGP.
I'm looking at the labels, and that's what I was hoping to find was something that said like 2023, 2024, 2025. And I'm not, because I really like these, and then the collector in me wants to make sure I have one of each. And, and I'm just not seeing it, but okay. And I didn't even know there was a Series 3 because I don't have any of those.
Well, we're down to 6 bottles. No, I feel like I'm doing a QVC promotion.
No. So that brings up a whole other question. And somebody, and you and I have traded emails about this a bit over the years because I'm in Kentucky. And it was first Kentucky was a green light, then it was red light, then it was green light, and now it's been red light for quite a while. So tell everybody, what determines whether you're able to ship into a particular state versus another online retailer shipping into a particular state?
Yeah. So we work with a shipping partner who they take control of the product and move it through the system. It's a bit of a crazy world, and my biggest thing on Kentucky is, okay, so I'm promoting your product to then send it to all these other states, and now you're going to tell me that I can't ship to your state. So a little bit of a fun and exciting touch point, but yeah, we're not currently shipping to Kentucky. I think some of those things could change at some point. And we want to do things the right way. We want to pay our sales tax. We want to do all of whatever is involved. Make sure it's 21 and above, signature required for all these products. But it's just, I don't think anybody really knows what is exact in the whiskey world right now with shipping, just because it's such a convoluted, it's like, well, this county said we could, but this county said we could not ship there. So we're all kind of just, you're doing your best at times. Like, we don't want to break any laws. We want to pay you whatever it is. Kentucky was a little more personal, I felt like, because we're promoting so many of their products. And
Yeah, I know.
we want to be able to ship there. And obviously it's a good market for us. But yeah, they said no go. So I got invited, and it was like this DC event, and they're having all these Kentucky delegates up there, whatever. And I said, I'll show up, but I just want you to know that I'm going to ask the question, why can I promote your state spirit everywhere in the country, but I can't ship to you? They're like, well, let's not open with that question. Let's not. But it's a pretty frustrating thing overall. I will say that, we're trying to highlight these small businesses, craft brands,
Thank you, Patrick.
things that like 2 to 3 barrel picks in a month make a actual difference to how they operate as a business. And then we still can't ship to Kentucky. But yeah, I'll try not to dive too deep down that rabbit hole, because then I'll just go off a tangent for 30 minutes about the frustrations there.
Well, I mean, there's, I don't know, probably shouldn't say this publicly, but we try to help each other in this community the best we can with some of those crazy rules. So we'll
You've
just
got
leave
a
it
thriving barbecue sauce business that needs to ship things out, and
so we'll just, we can leave that at that, and those know what I'm talking about, because I live in North Carolina, and I left Tennessee for North Carolina about 5 years ago. So things got a lot better for me. And unfortunately for those back in Tennessee, it's still, no, Matt, it's kind of one of those deals there. But Matt, we can work that out. Just all you got to do is call me.
Tennessee was a very funny one whenever you lose a Supreme Court case and then double down on the fact that there's still no shipping. I'm like, we saw the ruling here. We saw what happened. Like, no, which, eventually we'll be doing this 20 years from now, and it's like, hey, remember when we couldn't ship to all these states, and it's water under the bridge. But for now, we just operate within where we're told we can operate, and unfortunately that is where we are. But wine is somewhat figured it out. I think they've got much more expansion into states and everything else, but we try to do the best we can with making sure we're abiding by all the different laws and everything else. And
so Matt at Old Glory, I think, says you can ship all your barrels to him, and then we can bottle it there, and boom.
Matt, you may have not known what you signed yourself up for, but even like KBF, you can't have stuff there that's not a part of Kentucky, which I get it. That's fair.
It's in the name. It's in the title.
Yeah, but even like our Bike Eats Blue, we're like, this is a Kentucky product. We just happen to ship the barrels down to, the only thing that happens is we move the barrels from a Kentucky distillery to a Jacksonville distillery for bottling, just because it's easier to blend. And we're like, Brian is in Kentucky. He's very involved. Y'all want to send him all this stuff. Like, we'd like to promote his product at KBF. But yeah, that's the joys of alcohol.
So I've got one here. I don't know how long I've had this. I've got the bourbon and the rye, Blake, and I'll let you see it. I think you probably already know what this is.
Old Pepper.
Yeah, this is the, well, shit, I'm trying to make you full screen. Let me try me. This is the Seelbach's pick of the Old Pepper rye from, I think, 2 years ago, the 102 proof.
Yeah.
And I think it's spectacular, too. It was empty up front, but it got better.
Yeah. I mean, I think Old Pepper decanter got really big there for a little while. I think Fred put it in his top whatever. And we can disparage Fred Minnick on this because that's my most fun way of talking to him, is just being like, hey, you know what this is. Like, you gave it a good rating and did well. But Fred is great. He's always been very good to me, even in the early on blog days. But that Old Pepper, I mean, I think people still don't realize the story behind it. Like, he truly built a brand on sourcing. He built a distillery. He built all this other stuff. And now it's all, it's distilled in Lexington. They're making some incredible whiskey. And they're one that I love to highlight just because I feel like if people are looking for something cool to be Kentucky, like, they've got some really great whiskey out there. That was a fun pick.
I'll tell you what, Blake, to go on top of what you're explaining, Toby took me back in January there in Lexington. And the tasting room and that little bottle shop is very small, but welcoming. And you get a lot of hands-on. You get a lot of hands-on with the staff that are there. So we all did a flight, Katie and Ethan and me and Toby, and we had a question, buddy. They were over there in a second. And, we weren't sitting. The bar was not very big, but it was big enough or small enough to where we couldn't fit at it. But we had a table, and they'd come over and check. What do y'all got questions about?
Yeah.
And Toby started asking me about the single barrels and stuff like that. And they were just giving us answer after answer. But yeah, that was a very intimate, I guess that's the word I'm looking for, experience that we had with those guys there. And I think Toby's done a pick there with them or something.
Yeah. So the day we were there, they've got 3 different expressions of the decanter now. And we did a flight of the 3 decanters, and then we added on an Old Pepper rye onto the flight. It was fantastic. But since then, David Jennings from Rarebird 101 was in town and invited me to go on a pepper decanter pick. And, I hope I'm not letting the cat out of the bag, but they are just getting ready to release the very first pepper decanter rye. Any day, any week.
You know what? Don't quote me on this, but I think SLB's video yesterday, I think he had it.
Oh, really?
I think. God, he had a decanter pepper, and I think he said rye. I was trying to play catch up and try to work at the same time, and I think that's what he said him and Trenton had.
Oh, that would be really exciting. I tried probably 2-3 years ago to convince them to give us a decanter pick, and instead we got older single barrels, but which is not a bad place to be. Like, we're very happy with that. But there's and I think that's a fun part of conversation too, is like, single barrels are great, but there is something about blending multiple barrels together that just levels up and amplifies a bourbon. Like, it's really tough to get a single barrel that hits all the notes you want. If you start blending, it makes everything really tasty. And yeah, now I'm making notes for who I need to email in the morning to say, like, Hey, I know we talked about this. Would
Cat's
still
out of the
love
bag,
to get.
baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, no more secrets. Cat's out of the bag. When done well, nothing beats a good small batch. That's 100% correct. 1792 can prove that.
Yeah. I mean, they're one which is really fun too, because I feel like 1792 doesn't get kind of the enthusiast chasing it, but some of the best single barrels we've had at Seelbach have been distilled by Barton, and they're making incredible whiskey. I mean, we had a run of some hazmat 9 years, and then we did a hazmat 10 year. It was all Barton, and man, I feel like they create some incredible, or they produce some incredible whiskey, and probably don't get the credit they deserve on the 1792 brand.
Yeah, they're the Pepper Kentucky Straight Rye barrel proof is over 116 proof. I can tell you that much. So, a friend texted me and Toby and said a friend got one today. So I wanted to see the proof. So that's interesting. I had a question, Blake, and now I lost it because I'm ADHD and I just had a squirrel run through here. Like me. Okay, so we hit on it when you first got on about American light whiskey.
Mm-hmm.
Can you talk? If you can't, it's okay. And I know you're always in the works. Are you talking about doing some more higher age stuff this year or next year for just Seelbach?
Yeah. So we'll have another round of the 20-year light whiskey, and it's age stated 20 years old. It's technically 21 and a few months old, and that'll be this summer. So that's really fun and exciting. Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
Cool. So we'll do the 20-year light whiskey again. We're still trying to figure out the 17-year-old. We released it online. It went really well. And unfortunately, the yields on our 17-year-old bourbon was way less than we were expecting. Oh, there you go. There you go. Perfect entryway into a lottery giveaway.
Yeah, this is
Go ahead, Vanna.
And then we'll talk double oak next.
Yeah. And so, I mean, we harvested those barrels for that batch, and we're expecting like 1,100 bottles. We got 810. There was one barrel that had 5 bottles left in it. And that's kind of the hard part, where like you're kind of managing a barrel inventory, and you're like, hey, it would be amazing for this to get to 18, 19, 20 years old. And then you start shaking these barrels, and you're like, if we don't dump this today, we get nothing. And so
we're a $500 bottle.
Yeah. So we have our double oak this year, which I think we have the 10-year. Will end up being a 12-year double oaked.
Is that this? This is the French oak one, isn't it?
Or that's the French oak one. So that spent 13, 14 months in French oak. And so we're going back to Kentucky. It'll be a 12-year double oak bourbon, and that'll be in the fall. Then we'll have the 20-year light whiskey in the summer, and we'll kind of see what happens on a batch 2 of the 17-year. To me, I love that whiskey, so I would love to have infinite amounts of it, but my pocketbook only took me so far with the barrels we could buy.
Mike.
And
this may be my. I don't know, Blake. You're just going to have to go ahead and look when I show it.
Yeah.
See what's left, because I'm just going to say this is a. Let me explain it before I show the label, guys. It's aged 5 years first oak and aged 5 years in a second oak barrel. So it's a 10-year double oaked. This thing, oh, sorry, that's not what I meant to do. Sorry, I had my This baby right here
Yeah.
is phenomenal. I mean,
and that's OKI is putting out some of the best price to quality whiskey I think there is out there right now. And there's something about the double oaking of things and giving it time to develop and everything else. I mean, Old Carter and before that Kentucky Owl, they were very big on, hey, let's double oak it. Let's work into a batch. We don't even need to call it double oaking. There's something about that that just amplifies the flavor. And we started tasting those OKI barrels. Then we're looking at the pricing and everything. We're like, hold on, this is the retail price or this is our price? Because for what we're trying, this is it's a steal almost for what's in that bottle. But 5 years in a double oak barrel, just you pull out all the kind of just nuances of a secondary oak, but it's mellowed out by the 5 years of aging, and
it's marshmallow sweet. It's a little bit of leather, just a shade. I love it. I swear I do. Kurt bought 2 of these and gave me one, and I've been in love with it. I mean, literally, I have to keep it. I brought it in close, arm's length for the show, but normally it's over there on the side because this son of a gun, it's never made it downstairs for the cigar smoking, or it wouldn't. Yeah,
wouldn't last. I will say we are getting some more samples in of that pretty soon to get another couple of those in the works, because I just feel like that's one where it's like, hey, I know we have craft, I know we have all these other high priced bourbons. If you're just looking for something that's well priced, incredible value, OKI 10-year double oaked is pretty spot on.
Are they still on the website, Blake? Do you know?
Unfortunately, those are gone. Yeah, those did not last long.
Oh, God.
Yeah. I hate to tease it out like that of like, man, this is so good, but
it's gone.
There's more coming. You said there's more coming. You're working with them, so there's more on the way. It's okay. Go ahead, Toby.
I may have
Blake,
to.
Is there anything you can tease everybody about before you take off that I think you can talk about here coming up in the next 30, 60, 90, something like that?
Yeah. So we talked a little bit about the Echo, which is 8-year double oaked, slow proof bourbon. Really excited about that. I mean, this is, I say hard part about the job, but it's the fun part about the job is there's always something every week of that we've got Little and Foster releasing this week, which is John Little and John Foster, originally of Smooth Ambler. They're now doing their own thing. Really excited about that. That's releasing this week. Hooten Young has a 19-year-old American light whiskey that has some really good stuff. But for our own stuff, I'm really excited about the Echo. We also have our Bikey's Blue, which is I can say it, Green River Blue Corn Bourbon. We have another batch of double oak coming out for that soon, which is I was proofing it this week, and I'm just like, this is so good at cask strength. We probably want to just stick with that as the proof on it. That's really exciting. Some single barrels of that. I feel like that's just the fun part about whiskey and Seelbach is there's something every week that I'm excited about. We're really anxious to get out to people to see how they react. But yeah, definitely be on the lookout for batch 3 of the 20-year-old light whiskey this summer. hopefully batch 2 of the 17 year this fall. But well, I'll give one other plug, which is we have some barrels in Mizunara. So we took some 9-year-old Mizunara, or excuse me, 9-year-old Barton barrels, put them in Mizunara. They've been in there about 3 months now. I think we'll probably give them another month or two, but it is tasting really good. So I'm excited for that to come out because, 9-year cash
go ahead.
strength Mizunara is just kind of hard to beat.
I think it's a Mizunara finish. Blake, help me. It's that it's a rye.
Oh,
I can't ever pronounce it because I'm from
Rascaler.
Tennessee. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
That damn thing is freaking. Kurt bought 4 of them. Yeah, and that thing is unbelievable. It's
Yeah.
of course downstairs where I'm about to kill it, but yeah, that thing is fantastic for that one. And you've done a couple of those, haven't you?
Yeah, we've done a few. We've done several things from them, and I still cannot figure out what the magic is that he can work on barrels. But I'm like, we're getting other barrel samples in from other brands and distilleries of similar specs, age, source, mash bill. And for whatever reason, they just have some really great bourbon. And their Mizunara was incredible. The Mizunara has been very interesting because it was kind of the first time we worked with Mizunara. And it's a finicky oak. You taste it one day and you're like, man, this is incredible. We should bottle it now. You taste it a week later and you're like, why is this over oaked? We need to give this more time. And so we're trying to hit that sweet spot with Mizunara. But Altschuler's, we got this blend in from them of its 11-year, 18-year, and 20-year bourbon.
Good God.
And Brian on our team, who I don't want to say critical, but he has a very good palate. And he's like, I put this against the Elijah Craig 15 and it blew it out of the water, how good it was. And so, yeah, that's kind of the fun part with those is like, we know what gets the acclaim and attention, but there are some bottles available that are just sitting on our site where we're like, why are you not buying this? This is amazing. But yeah, that's the joys of small craft blenders and distilleries today.
Blake, real quick before you head out, go back online, go back on your site and see how many of the Humidor blends are left. We'll get people to get on it. We're going to sell it out. Yeah, guys, for the money, it's unreal. Whatever. Over here.
We're down to 40 bottles, so it's it's going.
Well, maybe we won't sell it out, but yeah, guys, this thing here is
fantastic. That's the best sales push we've had for Humidor in quite some time. And shout out Chad, who bought a bottle of the District Made Bottle and Bond and the Humidor, so he was listening.
Right. So there's only 3 of these left, the District Made Bottle and Bond, if I remember right. You said there were 4, now there's 3.
Thanks, buddy.
There are now 3. But yeah, no, thank you all for everything. This has been a lot of fun.
Thank you, Blake, so much for
coming.
You've had a long day, buddy. Go get some rest.
That's I missed this part in my intro of Seelbach where 2018 I was still an accountant, had 4 kids 4 and under, and decided to start this website for selling whiskey. And now those kids are 12, 10, and 28-year-olds, and adds a lot more fun and excitement to the life. I'm like, I thought it was hard just changing diapers and doing bottles. Like, I've got to actually think through all this stuff now.
Toting them all around to like soccer practice, and that's way harder.
That is, whoever invents the Uber for kids, I think That would be amazing. I'm like, if I have to drive one more team practice, but that's the fun stuff. That's you enjoyed it.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, guys. Really appreciate y'all having me on, and thanks for everything. Sporting
Blake,
Seelbach.
Blake, thanks for everything you do for me and the channel. And like I said, man, we're going to keep sharing stuff and keep the name going, especially on your picks. I really enjoy that, man, because like I said, man, it's all about stuff you can't find and at a reasonable price. And, everything you guys are doing fit the bill. So appreciate your hard work and compliments to the team when you talk to them from the whiskey community, tube community. So that, buddy, cheers, man, and thank you for everything.
Cheers. Yeah, let me know who wins the
I will.
bottles, and we'll get them a Seelbach sample series kit we've been doing as well to add on to the fun. Or if you
add
want
it to it, we'll add it to it, buddy. Thank you, Blake, so much.
Absolutely. Y'all have a good night.
All right, buddy. Cheers, man. Cheers. What a good dude, man.
Fantastic.
Yeah, that's there's a lot of information there. And, for me, one of the big reasons I wanted Blake on was, to talk a little bit about the shipping stuff, because it's tough for a lot of people, and I get it. And, I don't know, Matt can tell you, but, it all depends where you are to what you can do. And that's one thing. But like I said, man, I'll help anybody that is outside of a state the best I can to do that, to get what you can. But yeah, guys, I know the OKI is sold out. I wanted, if y'all wanted to try it, I want you to be able to get it. But we can do the next batch that's coming through, because I think they're spectacular. That Humidor blend is top 2 of the favorites I've got, outside of the Magnus. That Magnus finish is just spectacular. But yeah, it's top 2 that I've got. So I think Dave will like it. Chad might have picked it up. But yeah, so anyway, we got that going. Guys, if anybody wants to jump on for just a little bit, I need to drop the link. I don't think the link is in Linktree. It's not. So I will do that now.
Just, I know that we're like 15 minutes or so. I know Jason's doing a Patreon stream.
Oh, yeah, I tried at 10.
At 10, we might want to try to.
Yeah, we probably need to kill it at 10 and do that.
Yeah. Spin the wheel.
Yeah. We'll let the wheel go for about another 5 minutes, guys, and then we'll rip it. Give away a damn 17-year Seelbach and a 10-year double oaked and a old granddad. Awesome. Got you, Gerald.
If anybody's still hanging around after that, let me know. Maybe we'll fire up a little viewing party for Jason's stream. Just hit me up and with a text or something.
Yeah, it was a good time, man. Blake last week was a little bit pushed. Had a dinner he had to do, so I told him let's just wait till this week to do that. Toby, we want to talk a little bit about next week now before we get too carried away.
I got to think now. Hold on.
Bush wood.
Yeah, we can talk about that.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, we've all seen it. They've got beautiful bottles, very much a decanter style bottle. Next week, we are going to have Bushwood bourbon on. Marty, myself, and Corvette Trey are going to be working through a flight of 7 different expressions of Bushwood. We're going to have 1 or 2 of the folks on from the distillery talking us through what goes into their whiskey. So,
yep. So we'll have them on. I think we're now scheduled at 9:00. So our normal time next Tuesday. And then the next couple of weeks, we're still working out some details with a couple other people. We need to do.
There's some incredible stuff coming up. It's just a matter of we have to kind of keep our calendar open within about 7 to 10 days to 2 weeks, because there's a couple things that when they're ready, we've got to be ready to go. And so we're not locking things in until we know what's going on with some of that other stuff. But there's some really cool stuff coming.
Appreciate that. Miss Appalachian Bourbon. Cheers to you. Marty and Toby love the inside baseball of whiskey. Yeah. Business between blenders, distillers, online retailers. Awesome. Love this content. Thank you, man. Yeah. Matt is Old Glory, guys. We had them on 2 weeks ago. Had a hell of a time. Drank through about 427 samples and single barrels. But yeah. In fact, did not go to bed. Well, yeah, come on if you want.
I want to ask, Miss. We just had a super chat or a chat from Miss Appalachian Jamie, Miss Appalachian Bourbon. Is that any relation to Appalachian Bourbon Company? Jamie.
Oh, yeah, we need to find that out for damn sure.
Yeah. If so, we've got some bottles and we can talk about them a little bit.
DMC is here. Awesome, guys.
David
had a great live last week.
Mm-hmm.
Go back and check the replay if you haven't, guys. It's a good one. I'll tell you another show we got coming. We got to do the Kevin O'Malley samples that he sent us.
And we've got Kevin O'Malley samples. We've got Trey Boyd samples.
So we got stuff coming.
Oh, you know what we can talk about?
Yes.
So next Monday, or this coming Monday,
oh yeah,
I'm going to be hosting a blind distillery flight on Dusty Dan's channel on Monday night. I've sent a flight, or I'm sending a flight to Dusty Dan, to Marty Whiskey Nose, and to Jason Mash and Drum, and they're going to be working through 12 different samples from one distillery.
Good.
And with a little luck, there'll be a special guest or two along with that. So anyway, that will be Monday. This coming Monday. Okay, so it's Appalachian Bourbon Society in North Georgia. Okay.
Big Vic. Yeah, this OKI double oak, man, it's a ripper. I'm going on a different term. We got bangers. We got rippers. Okay, Alec Mills got you. Yeah, hell yeah, man. Matt, am I getting something from you tomorrow? I think so. All right, guys. Here in just a second, we'll spin the wheel. We'll call it. We'll give you time to get set up for the Patreon meetup for Jay. God. All right.
Marty, I'm going to send you a quick text. So
let me know if I need to do something.
Yeah, I'm gonna send it to you.
All right. 3 bottles in the giveaway. The Dave Vogue, Old Granddad, 117 single barrel. The Seelbach 10-year double oaked, and the unbelievable Seelbach, which I believe, thank you, Greg McDonald, is a turkey 17-year, which is nuts. Let me check my text here, guys, real quick, and we'll get her going. Gotcha. Hello, Jeffrey Wack. Let me get the wheel ready.
Did you get my text?
Yes, I'm doing it now. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, I think I'm set. Let me go back to the bottom. All right. 91 entries. Wow, that's amazing. All right, y'all ready? Let's do it, man. Let's bring her up. Let's share screen with the names. Boom. Everybody see that? Okay.
That's a good looking wheel right there.
Best you can. You damn right. So
I love that logo.
yeah, man, guys, we got, yeah. Also, real quick, let me say this. I reached back out to Sterling Cut Glass to get the second round of our glassware here for those that didn't get it. And I've got 18 more ordered. But the thing about that is they cannot do it and get it to me until middle of June. That's how backed up they are. So that is not a problem. At least I know they're coming and they're paid for and ordered. So if you still want some, I know I got a couple people I owe. But yeah, they're here. Hopefully middle of June. So, all right, let's spin this wheel. The first, we'll go, first one we'll do is the Dave Vogelsang Old Granddad 117 single barrel. Dave, that is so generous. Thank you for doing that for me and Toby. What do you think? We shuffle it what? Let's say since our high stage is 17, let's shoot for 17. What do you think, Toby?
Oh my God.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. All right, rip it. Corvette Trey.
Corvette Trey.
Thank you for that huge super chat, buddy. That's awesome. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This is for the Seelbach 10 double oaked French oak. Thank again, everybody, and Blake for this. Connoisseur Eric. That's awesome, buddy. Eric, email me your info, whiskeynose21@gmail.com. And let's do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, guys, this is for the banger. This is for the 17-year Seelbach. Good luck.
Paul P.
Paul P. The legend. Did Blake say he was going to do a sample pack of something there at the end? Did you catch that?
I don't know. I don't remember. Maybe somebody in chat will remember.
I'll tell you what. I'll spin and I'll reach out to Blake, and we'll if not, we'll figure something out. But yeah, let's go ahead and he told me to let him know what it is. So this is for the Blake.
Roger Dodger, KP,
Kevin Pierce. All right. All right. Thank you, guys. What a killer wheel, man. Great winners. Great whiskey. Is Matt texting me anything I need to share?
No.
Okay.
No.
Good deal. Thank you, guys. He did. All right. All right, guys. We have 5 minutes left. We're going to go ahead and shut this baby down. We're going to get over to Jason C. He's got a lot of info for tonight, and the Blitz 3 is part of it. Next week, Kevin O has got a bottle of Still Austin barrel pick that he's going to throw in the giveaway. So we've got that coming. We've got all kinds of great shit on the horizon. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned. I will start posting stuff as soon as me and Toby have dates scheduled. I'm not going to wait till the thumbnail and all that stuff. I'm going to go ahead and start posting stuff on Patreon to give you all a heads up of what's coming, because you can be a free member. It's fine. It's not about making money. It's more about just contact and all that stuff. Yeah, Mike T, thank you. 75-year-old, 7.5-year-old Still Austin pick. Yeah, so that thing's a banger. Dude, that's awesome. You're donating that. All right, guys. As me and Toby always say, man, whiskey may not solve all your problems, but by God, it is damn worth a shot. See you all next time right here on the Whiskey